Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today is going to be the start of a cheap 4x4 challenge build off that me and a couple of my other YouTube buddies are going to be doing. I guess challenge is used kind of loosely. We're all going to have different things, and ultimately, the goal is to show that you can go out and have a good time on a pretty cheap budget. What I've done, well, I guess the parameters of the challenge we'll explain in another video. That should already be released, or it's coming soon. Anyways, what I've done is I've bought myself a 2003 Chevy S10 for my cheap 4x4. Now, I bought the truck for $800, but it needed a rear end. In two-wheel drive, the truck would not move forward, reverse, drive shaft would spin, pinion into the axle would spin, the axle shafts, and therefore the wheels would not spin. And when we get back to the shop here in a minute, I'll show you guys kind of what the carnage from that was. But I got the rear end replaced. I bought one on Marketplace for 300 bucks out of a ZR2, and I'll explain why in a little bit. And finally got the old girl running. I'm actually running in the background right now because the battery needs to charge. So I'll give you a walk around real quick, show you all the things that are wrong with it. So this right here is my fine machine. It's my $800 S10. It is the crew cab, which is what I've always loved. I love these old crew cabs. I don't know why. And it's got the ZR5 package, which ultimately is an appearance package. But this one was also equipped with the off-road package. So it's got the factory tow hooks on the front, and it has the factory 373 gears and the factory G80 limited slip. Some people call it a locker. I really wouldn't. It's a limited slip, let's be honest. But it's actually running right now. I don't know if you can hear it. This thing runs super, super good. Nice and smooth. I guess I'll give you a quick walk around of it. It's got some rust. We are in Ohio. Everything's got rust. In this price point, I should say. It came with a TV that I absolutely hate, because now I have to get rid of that, throw it away. She needs a couple of things, but overall, this is a solid unit. So let's go over some of the issues. Issue number one is the battery doesn't seem to hold a charge for very long, which is why it's running right now, so I don't have to jump start it again. It's got the rust, but we're just not going to do anything about that. If you're looking at a $2,000 car in Ohio, especially a 4x4 in today's day and age, they're going to be rusty. So if I come up close here, it's going to need tires. You can see the alignment on this one has not been super good. It's all nice and smooth here, and then as you go back in further, you got more and more tread. So that's no good. The fronts need alignment, and I think the reason that the rear end blew up on the previous owner is they were letting their high school kid drive it, and this tire is super smooth here. But if you look over here, this one's got a ton of tread, so I think they were out trying to do burnouts in mom and dad's car and ended up blowing up the rear end. So we got to get tires. This dent we're just not going to worry about. That doesn't really matter, as the tailgate still functions nice and easily. So we're just going to leave that alone. Rust is a little less terrible on this side. Need the fuel door spring. I've actually already got a fender for the front one that's all dinged up, which will be good to swap on. But yeah, I really love these crew cabs. I like the full-size doors, and they've got these little cutouts so you can slide in and out of here easier with the back seat. No sliding glass. If we jump to the inside here, door's a little squeaky. This radio is a piece of garbage. I hate it. It's too old to really do much of anything, so that's going to get replaced as part of the budget. And when we're going through this, I'll show the price point of every single thing that I do and the process of changing it. We're going to try to keep it to fairly simple items, things that are easy to do, don't take up a lot of time, because a lot of people looking to get into the hobby And even people that have been in it for a little while and just don't want to spend that much money, don't want to spend all of your weekend time fixing and working and wrenching on your rig. You want to be able to go out and enjoy it a little bit, right? So I'm going to replace the radio. Good creature comforts. This piece right here, you can see the truck has 182,000 miles on it, which really isn't that bad. Holds really good oil pressure, doesn't overheat. But you can see this faceplate is cracked. I have another one in the mess in here that I got from the junkyard. This lid is not attached really. Lots of little things. This is fairly loose for some reason, but these switches seem to work. I mean, the windows, you know. I mean, it's just a decent little truck. I'm really happy with it, especially for the price that I paid for it. Most everything works. It's even got the overhead console up here, which is really cool. And all of that. One other thing, I forgot, this tire is pretty low. You can actually shake the truck back and forth in the tire. But like I said, new tires are already on the way. I already bought them. We're sticking with this size so I don't have to put any lift on it, because these have a torsion front suspension like a lot of these GM trucks do. I think they might even still do that. I'm not 100% sure, but it sucks trying to mess with the torsion bars and the rust belt. The torsion keys really lock themselves in. But yeah, other than that, I think this is a pretty solid rig. I think the plan for it, for the challenge, is we're going to put the tires on it, maybe change out the lights. I don't know about the housings, but especially the bulbs to something a little brighter and more usable. Try to keep it road legal, of course. We don't want to be blinding everybody, because that doesn't help us or them. But put some lights, some pods or light bars somewhere. We're just going to leave the factory rims. I think we're going to leave these factory side steps. They may act as kind of a rock slider if we hit something light, because as you can see, they go back to the frame, which makes them a lot stronger than these little tubular things are. And this tube is definitely just going to sandwich if it hits a rock, but it might help protect us against this. Even if this comes all the way up and hits this, it'll distribute the load better, so it won't just crunch it all the way in. Now, I mentioned that I put the ZR2 rear axle in it instead of the ZR5. The difference between them, the ZR2 on these Silverados, on these S10s, the ZR2 package is the super off-roady one that everybody really wants. And people like these crew cabs and the ZR5s, but the ZR2 is the one that's all factory equipped with the rear G80 limited slip. They're all factory equipped with a 2 or 3 inch lift. They actually sit a lot higher off the ground than this. They all come factory equipped with 31 inch tires. These are about a 29, so they're overall just a little bit better. But another big thing, the reason that the ZR2s have bigger fender flares than these, actually a little bit wider, is they track wider than these trucks by 4 inches. And on a lot of the Chevy trucks, the front tracks wider than the rear for some reason. I don't know why they do that, but the front is usually, you need a 2 inch wheel spacer in the rear to match the front. So I went to a ZR2 rear axle, which makes the axle spaced out further. So that way they're actually really close now, and I don't need to put any spacers, which is great because I hate wheel spacers. You can get good brand wheel spacers and you can run them pretty good, but there's always that little bit of a chance that it's gonna break and that it's not as strong as going directly to the factory hubs. So I wanted to avoid wheel spacers, had to change out the axle anyways, and so I still have 373 gears, which is what this came with, and I still have the G80, which I don't think this one works, just moving it by hand, but that's fine. But I have the wider track width. And on these Chevy trucks, I don't know if it's true with the Silverados or not, but the S10s for sure, you can check your factory equipment in here, they have this little tag, and mine has the owner's manual, which is cool, but they have this little tag, and you can see right here, where is it? This GT4 stands for 373 gears, and this G80 is the G80 limited slip. So if you have both of these tags inside the glove box, especially the G80 tag, that's the one you really want. Because that way you know it's factory equipped and somebody didn't mess with anything. So yeah, it's just a neat little truck. Anyways, there we go. This is going to be the start to our little 4x4 cheap build off challenge, adventure, whatever. And this is my little S10 truck that I bought for it. I'm really excited for this. I'll take you guys along every step of the way. And I'll link the other channels in the description too once they start putting out videos. In fact, I'll link them. Go ahead so you can subscribe and stay tuned to them. And once we get this thing built up a little bit, then we'll get out on the trails. We'll try a couple obstacles, see what this thing's really capable of doing for really not a whole lot of money. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for when we start getting this thing working.